eNCA's Pule Letshwiti-Jones is out and about at Nasrec and joins us now. So, Pule, I'm obviously going to ask you about what the delegates are feeling about the Soccer World Cup starting in an hour. But I've got to ask you about the voting and why it hasn't yet begun. Because the top 7 nominees were done, you know, those names were decided on by sort of 2 o'clock this morning. So why hasn't voting begun yet?
It sounded quite funny. Many have compared the president to being the French national team, in which he'll be, trying to defend his position. This time around, the French trying to defend the World Cup as well. And others comparing the Dr. Zweli to Argentina to say he's trying to upset the session. So this is some of the views I'm getting here. But I'm joined by my people from the Northern Cape who are here today. Thank you very much for joining us. Now, voting hasn't started. How are you feeling? Are you anticipating to vote for who you will be expecting to be taking a position?
I am happy, I'm ecstatic. I know why I'm here. I've been sent. I have already voted. I have been sent from a province that gives direction. So me, I'm happy. I followed mandate and I delivered.
Now you're here, you're not watching the World Cup. What's going on now?
Remember, for me to watch the World Cup and ensure that young people one day play the World Cup from South Africa, I need to come to ANC gatherings, because now we're going to commissions. We will be discussing these issues to ensure that young people one day will represent us with the policies we will be discussing and adopting.
So who's taking it, Argentina or France?
Definitely France.
So you're saying Zweli is taking it?
No, I was saying, I was no, definitely not. It's definitely Ramaphosa, but the French will take it that side.
Thank you very much for coming. Let me bring you someone on the side. Thank you very much for joining us. Also from Northern Cape, how are you feeling? Have you voted so far?
Well, I'm an unvoting candidate, so what I'm here to do is just to contribute to policy and the change of it and the renewal of the party.
How has that been so far?
Come again?
How has that been so far?
It's been good. You know, it's a good opportunity, especially as a queer individual, to be representing queer people in the changing of policies in the ANC and having to make input in inclusion and having for us to be recognized that we are here and
And at the World Cup, are you watching the game? I mean, a lot of people are speaking about it. What's happening?
Well, I don't watch the World Cup, unfortunately, so I really don't know what to comment on that.
Okay, so there's some of the views from those who we've been, of course, speaking to here. And this is what we're getting. People are saying that they haven't been watching football. Perhaps maybe let me just bring one of the delegates as well from the Northern Cape. How are you, and how has everything been as well?
Thank you. My name is Patsy. I'm from the Northern Cape, from a small town called Steinkopf. But I'm here in my capacity as a member of the ANC Women's League National Task Team. I'm a transgender woman and an activist in the LGBTI space. You've just spoken to Cabello, for example. He forms part of a delegation of 5 that has been included this year to represent queer issues on this platform. We are, of course, grateful for this opportunity to be here. And the work for us here is to make impact in the different commissions, because we need to speak to the lives and the lived realities of queer individuals in this country and how it's addressed. And we are talking about health, education, access to healthcare, access to job opportunities, and also within the movement, how queer bodies are expected, treated, and also how the organization can transform itself to be more reflective of the realities of our society.
I mean, I attended the event, for the Pride event, Johannesburg Pride event for the gay and queer community, quite a vibrant, energetic event that took place there. Would you say within the political space you're moving in the right direction in terms of, those members within the LGBTQ plus community being accommodated as well, and their policy, ideas being taken seriously?
Yes, and that's why we are here. It has been slow in the making, but this is why we've assembled a group of enthusiastic activists in the space that can speak to our issues, and not just in terms of awareness and addressing these issues, but so that these issues can translate into policy positions and programmatic implementation modules, so that the realities of queer lives on the ground is addressed. And of course, in the movement, there's a groundswell of queer presence in the space of the movement, in the space space of the Women's League, for example. I'm a transgender woman in a national leadership position. This shows that there's a definite commitment towards inclusion, and not just inclusion, but representation of queer bodies in the political space of the African National Congress.
I'm also speaking about the World Cup. I know many have been watching football. Who do you think is going to take it, Argentina or France?
I have no idea because I do not watch football. I'm so sorry. I would be the worst one to comment on this one. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Thank you very much for joining us. Tate Apotosa, thank you very much for joining us. Your delegate, are you happy with how the votes has been going so far?
Yes, I'm happy. No other connect delays eziqala zakhona qala kodwa into esiqinisekileyo ngayo into yokuba ngaba thina from Oathambo Eastern Cape sizaqinisekisa into yoba uTata uZweli Mkhize namhlanje the 20 uzabe evala conference as the president of the country. Uphumulo Moswale will be the SG of South Africa. Injongo zethu kukuba iAfrican National Congress yakhiwe ngakutsha ngabantu abazawukwazi ukuyikhathalela baqiniseke into yoba njengoba abantu emakhaya beyiyeka iANC ngezizathu zento kokuba ngaba amalungu eANC esilwa odwa ngezikhundla zawo hayi ngezinto ezi-affecta abantu abakwi-communities ezisivotelayo kuba iANC iphila nje iphila ngeklali ezisemakhaya. Kulapho ke kufanele sibahoye sibakhathalele so sidinga ke inkokheli ezizakwenza ngolo hlobo.
And then just to divert a bit, in terms of ibhola, the World Cup today final, who do you think is going to take it? Abanye bathi France and Argentina, bathi France President Matamela, Argentina Uzweli. Who do you think is winning the World Cup final?
Into esho ngayo uTata uZweli Mkhize.
So you're saying Argentina?
Yes, it's going to be the one, and with a huge difference.
Okay. Thank you very much. So some of the delegates just giving us their views this afternoon as well. Quite twisted views, man. Many saying that Argentina, of course, will win the World Cup. Others saying the French will be defeated. It's quite twisted views. Some of them are not even watching the sporting event. So you can imagine, Sally, how the mood is like. Others are still in the political mood, just waiting to get the announcements of those votes, as some of the delegates are voting, and some of them are waiting for those results to come up. But we'll be giving you those live updates while we're still here on the ground.
Just a point of clarity, Pule, we were told that the voting had not started. Has the voting actually started? Is it absolutely confirmed?
Yeah, well, I spoke to one of the delegates here who would say that they had already started voting. I mean, he said that they had come in from voting. So it seems as though it had already started. I mean, earlier on, there was a press briefing about the national spokesperson of the ANC, Pule Mabe, who said that the voting will commence, and therefore said that they were ready, But the ANC, since we've been here, the programs haven't quite been on time, have been delayed. But also, there's also been a challenge in terms of sufficient communique, in terms of the direction in which some of the programs are steering. But when I spoke to some of the delegates here, they were just saying that already started voting, so it means that things are underway.
All right. Last question. Is there intense lobbying going on behind the scenes, lots of horse trading? Do you get a sense that lots of deals have been done and allegiances may have been shifted? What are the rumours that you're hearing?
Oh, of course, there is a lot of ongoing negotiations that have been happening. Many speaking about who they will be voting for in terms of their preferred candidates. I mean, there's also been a rumour of some of the delegates being bribed into what direction they should take when having to vote for a certain ANC leader for their preferred position. However, the ANC has come out during their press briefing to say those are allegations that haven't come to their attention, and that delegates, or rather people with such information, should report it to the organization so it can be subject of thorough investigation. But these ongoing horse trading talks have been going on since last night. It's all about the numbers are out here, and these numbers are coming with a lot of arrogance and demands as well. So you can imagine right now that it's the last minute. Anything can happen from here onwards, and of course delegates are being instructed by some of their leaders as well. I saw the delegation of the province of Limpopo rather, where we saw the person who's vying for the chairperson position, Mr. Chupu Stanley Matabata, briefing some of the delegates as well. And we've seen other, members as well briefing the delegates to say they've come now to this final step and they know the direction. This is what has to happen, and protocol has to be followed. So it's been a busy, morning, busy evening for these ANC members since last night as well.
Yeah.
And these talks are ongoing, and we'll see how the results will unfold once we get there.
Yeah, it looks like it's certainly going to be another very late night. Thank you so much for that update, Pule Letshwiti-Jones.